So, got my guard pass, and Sean is here giving me side control. And he's got the cross face, right? So I have no frames in, and the cross face is to make me face away so that I can't turn into him and start defending. So, and you don't have to really give me that much.
I just miss you.
I know, right? I mean, I miss you too, dude. You know, it's good seeing you. But shit. No, I'm kidding. All right, so again, we're here, and I want you guys always, especially in drilling, because we're going light in the drills, start with a good hug. It's like, man, I missed you too, because I want you to learn how to get your frames, always. Now, I don't want to see any of this today. This is super lazy, and because doing this, almost always, every time I see someone do this, they're not doing this. This is a super lazy way, and it causes you to keep your hips flat. So none of this today, okay? So the first thing that we're always gonna do is you're gonna get that knee up, because I don't want the person who's got side control, he's not gonna stay here. His goal is to advance. He's not submitting me, but he's giving me a lot of pressure. So I get my hip up, and I like to put a knee right into his hip, because it's a nice indicator of where he's going, right? If he's gonna start to try to step over into knee on belly or full mount. So when that happens, if I can't get this in here, there's some good techniques. You can punch up and get your elbow in, right? And then you're gonna swim this under and get your frames in. Now, a good frame is not pushing against his throat trying to get him to back off. A frame is just like in a house. It's sitting there, right? It's just to keep the pressure off. So I've got my hip up, I've got my knee in, I've got my frames, meaning this is on the hip, keeping him from going north-south. I've got my inside frame here, keeping him from adding all this pressure. Now, what I want you guys to do is lift up, and when you lift up, you can drop down and you leave your frames right where they're at. So see all that space? If you can't see over here, come around here. Back and tight again. So again, up, knees in. I'm up off my hip. I'm not laying here flat. I'm up against him, right? So whenever I drop down, my frames, instead of pushing, I use my core to lift him up, and then I drop in, and now I can get a knee in. Okay? Everybody see what I'm doing here? Right, so once my knee is in, I can start using this shoulder crunch to deny his crossface. Meaning I'm gonna step on my own foot and I'm gonna push back. Right, and once this happens, I can now get my butterflies. Cool? Questions? We're just trying to get our guard back. Whether butterflies, full guard, or once you get guard retention. Guard is passed. Inside control, I have no frames, right? So we're gonna get up, we're not gonna be doing this. See how my hips are flat? We're gonna keep our hips up. We're gonna get this foot off of our leg, we're gonna get it into his hip, right? I'm gonna get my frames in. I gotta get my forearm on his hip. I've gotta get this frame in here on the inside of his clavicle, right? So, as we're lifting, when I drop, my frames stay. Look at all this space. I'm just holding him up. Now, this is more efficient than just pushing. I can do this, especially if I'm Mason or Carlos. I can push, right? But eventually, I'm gonna wear out doing this. So just use your core, right? And then my arms lift his body up, right? And then it just gives me that space to get to my side, step on my foot, get my shoulder crunch to negate his crossface, and I push him back. And then I can get my butterflies, or I can just get full guard. All right, start with a big, nice hug. Now, get our knee up. You guys get your frames in. Now, as we're here, if he's giving that pressure, keeping you down, this crossface doesn't let you turn, it sucks. You're gonna lift up, and then you're just gonna keep your frames there, right? And this is when the knee comes in. I get my knee as far in, and now it's a bar across his hips. And this shoulder crunch is like, great for negating this crossface, because he's just pushing in here trying to make the face away. Now I'm just gonna push back with my frames and get my guard back. Go.